truly appreciate you all showing up today. I am, like said, Nyla Hodges. I'm an artist and an actress. I have a strong lead in acting. But before I hop in, I must say that when I was younger, I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And so for me, this is kind of like living out that dream. So to you, I say thank you and welcome to my dream. How do I click the slide? Oh, thank you. So like I said, I'm an actress, and I've done numerous productions. But outside of that, I'm going to share with you my journey and my experiences and what I've learned while studying this craft and how that relates to everyday life. So as I'm talking, please pay attention to the doubles and the play-ons and the metaphors of what I'm saying. When we act, we focus a lot on our body and how to use your body as an instrument, how to find your ground, your placement, and truly find out who you are and what works for you, which helps working with the youth. Who are the youth? And that's something that comes from within. I truly believe that everyone is an artist. We just have to find a way to allow that door to open up and help everyone to express themselves. So there are 3 ways that I think we go about this. Go about specifically creating creators at the foundation. You have first, the role. Second, providing psychological and systematic safety. And third, understanding and learning the educational rhythm. So let's start. Who are you in youth? Actors focus on the audience and actor relationship. There's so much said when you're on stage that you're not hearing. I'm always listening to you. So who are you in youth? Please participate and feel free to engage in that interaction. Raise your hand if you believe that you are a youth, a part of the youth. Okay, a little more than I expected. All right, now raise your hand if you believe that you are youthful. That's better, right? So we're gonna assess the role outside of the job title and the job description, which comes from being willing to learn when you help someone. When any context that you are working with a youth, we must remember that on your end, you are still a receiver just as much as you are the one giving out the information. So perhaps you're not learning about that context or the subject matter that you are speaking on, but you may be learning about the person, how they take in information, how they understand things, and how they interpret things. And typically, the children are the ones who surprise you. They always say something that kind of catches you off guard, right? So we have to think about the exchange that happens between the two. Wisdom exchange. There's so much power in relationships, especially in generational relationships. How do we merge that connection, and how can we make you come off as Wi-Fi, where I find information? I have to be the one to tell you that Google is winning. There's so many times where the youth will go, even I will go and gravitate towards Google before I will ask an adult. And a part of that comes from conditioning, and just out of my experiences, I have been taught in school, ask 3 before you ask me, right? So now I'm training to go to my peers constantly, and that's not a bad thing. There's weight in that, there's value. But there's also so much value in you all and our adults and respecting our elders. So how can I come off in a way where everyone feels as though information is shared and there's an entire pool of knowledge? So really focus on that connection and how to make everyone feel welcome and enjoyed and feel as though they have value. Which brings me to providing psychological and systematic safety. One of the biggest things that we can acknowledge here is the environment, providing a safe environment. And that comes from, I don't want to miss this especially. Okay, yeah. And that comes from, like I said before, having your voices heard and recognized. But also, something to think about, as a college student, I went from being in school. When you're in elementary, okay, my walls are decorated, right? I grow up, I see all this color. You get older, there's nothing on the walls. Perhaps that is maturity, but there's also maturity in embracing that life and that environment. And that is one of the things that we can psychologically and environmentally make everyone feel safe. Because instructors and teachers are still strangers. Your parents send you to a school with a bunch of strangers. Especially in this time, it is so helpful to at least have some pinpoint and somewhere that you can recognize who you're working with. So think about how to bring closure, bring something that I can relate to. And another part of that is addressing roles. When can I, as a leader, take the time to step back and allow the youth to speak? Knowing when we can have that position exchange and knowing for yourself that you have trained them to step forward. Because you, and I must say this from earlier when I was asking about being the youth, perhaps that is when you stop hearing, perhaps you follow me for a second, perhaps when you stop hearing you are the future, that's when you stop being the youth. So I'm going to tell you, you are the future. The only difference is you have your hand in the pot, so you're gonna get fed, right? So you need to train the youth to train the youth. Learning their ways, listening to the room, listening to the environment. Another part of this is self-responsibility and self-trust, instilling that in them. You have self-insurance and self-assurance. When I was working with lighting, I had the opportunity to figure out how lighting is in theatrical stage lights, how they work. Now, I took this course online during the pandemic, but I said, hey, if I have to get another credit too, I might as well take it again and learn it for myself. So the first time, they said, those lights can fall. The second time they said, hey, those lights can fall. The second time it clicked because I was able to work on it for myself. And that time I made sure, because I could do it, that, okay, I turn this knob, tighten this bolt, hang it up, even the little, where is it? Like this line, that's a safety clip. It is so skinny, you don't think it does much, but it does, right? So I'm gonna make sure that I attach that safety clip. Now I'm taking it on and upon myself to make sure that I am insured. I can take pride not only in my work, but I can also look out for myself, training that individual responsibility, training that self-assurance, that self-inner trust. So this is me. I got to do a production called 9 to 5, a musical. I was a follow spot operator. It's literally you following an actor with the light. But it's fun, and they make more money than actors anyway, right? So, but this time, I not only got to, actors can be self-centered, but I was able to be the one to shine that light on someone else, metaphor, play on, and I could be proud in the work before me and know that I myself was taking care of myself. Another huge part, understanding help. I really, really believe in this part. I'm trying to learn this for myself when I interact with others, and also learn how I need help. So think about a water bottle. If I come up to you and I say, here, can you open this? Okay, that may be your what, right? When, I probably need it now, but that's still, in another situation, that's still something to ask. And how? Perhaps I need you to just untwist it. Or maybe I need you to take the top off of your water bottle so I can take it off of mine later. I just want a demonstration right now so I can do it for myself later. There's another way to go about it. Maybe I just want you to show me exactly so that I can practice my memorization and do it fast. There's so many different ways that you can go about helping someone, and it's not a bad thing to ask, how can I help you? Part 3, understanding and learning the educational rhythm. We know about school life. I don't know why, but it seems like adults feel as though they were never children. You're still children, you're big kids. So we know that school is hard. And you say, technology, you have technology. I get that. But I personally do not feel as though it is as good as it's supposed to be. It was as good as it was intended to be. So think about, I went to a restaurant and the QR code was on a table. I really thought, this is the rest of my life. I have to come here, click, and now I have my menu. It's got its benefits, but not everyone learns that way, especially me. So think about the educational rhythm, the individual timeline. It is very prominent, and it's a very major topic that people are talking about who they are in this moment, now, and so forth in the future. The aha. You have your aha moment. You tell a joke, we switch topics, and then you hear, oh, right? We all process things at a different time. We all have our own journey of consumption, what we can take in, what we can input, output, so on and so forth. So recognizing that. And another clear, I can go without saying, is the youth voice. And power in silence. How long is too long, right? In that silence, what can you observe? What can you take in? There's a lot of space in that. There's so much that can be said when you just listen. What's not being said? How do we train the youth to understand that everything that is put before their eyes isn't as crystal clear as it is? When I was standing up here, did I blank? Did you assume that I blanked? We know assumption is another thing, right? So getting your information, training that, understanding all of that is very, very, very much needed. Especially because when we go back to talking about Google and technology, you can't just take what you've seen. Believe. In all of this, we must believe. We talk about from the get-go, believe in you. Find out who you are and what you want to do. Another part of that is believing the good that you hear. Far too often will someone remember something negative that happened in 2010. But they won't believe the fact that you just told them that you were beautiful. If I tell you are beautiful today and you trip on a rock, you're still beautiful. You just fell pretty. If you make a mistake, you are still who you are. You are still wonderful. You are amazing. It was just a mistake. It was just an opportunity for growth, right? So having that willingness to learn and educate on both parts. And also positive peer pressure. When so many people are believing in you, it is wonderful. And I know that it is a blessing that I can say that I have so many people believing in me. But also keep in mind that negative peer pressure, I know it has its own stamp. But when you flip the script and you have positive peer pressure, you want to see the dream. If you see my dream, I want to see it too. You're believing in me. And some may say, well, that's a lot of weight. I'd rather have positive peer pressure than negative peer pressure. And so to you, I would finally like for you to imagine a stage, a theatrical stage, and envision your curtain. It's all nice and laid out in red or whatever color you'd like, and the curtain begins to move. Which way did your curtain move? Did it open up? I hope so. Because all we are asking of you is to open that door and pull that curtain and allow that to follow through. So truly believe in the youth, and remember that there are 3 parts to the foundation: the role, providing psychological and systematic safety, and understanding and learning the educational rhythm, taking the time to find out who your audience is and who you are and how that relationship is better when everyone is involved and when everyone has a say. Thank you.